Greetings, kindred. I am voivodemekhet, and welcome back to our world of darkness. And today we're going to go over basically just me verbally explaining what happened at Darkness Emergent. Thank God I have this thing right here. This program for our world for the Darkness Emergent event in Vegas, because so much stuff happened, and it was so hectic in such a short amount of time. But also, I gotta say that the By Night Studios crew and Jimmy Reckitt's storytelling staff, they went above and beyond this time, because not only was it like one night and then also like a meet the court event, it was like it felt like 3 full nights of full on LARP. We had such a great time, and I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, I'm gonna utilize this book to try to help me remember everything that happened, because seriously, it was insane. We have a good like listing of things here. First off, we did a meet the city meet the city court, effectively, where we got to meet the various kindred who were in charge of everything, and just going by what this book says. First off, Alexander Ward playing Yarmir Kearney, which Clan Zamitzi. He's the head of Kindred Affairs in Las Vegas for the I keep trying to call it my thing, for the Darkness Emergent storyline. He was interesting and intimidating, and also just a pleasure to play with. On the very first night, we ended up having a like which faction can, because we ended up doing the factions just like we have in the last two events. But the factions were all like trying to vie for like who can offer the most stuff and try to get on his good side and things like that. And I got to have a little bit of a one-on-one private, like, hey, I didn't want to make this a big thing. Like, it was just nice. It was nice being able to interact with not only the fact that it was Alexander Ward, but also somebody who was playing a member of the clan that I was playing, who was in charge of a thing. Also, we had Cynthia Marie there, who got to play who is playing Elizabeth Demetrios, which she is my all-time, and I've said this before, but she is my all-time favorite character from the Clan novels. It was just, she started off as a human in the books, and just kind of like wound her way into how kindred existence works, and eventually gets sucked into it and all that stuff. And my greatest regret of the entire Darkness Emergent event was the fact that my character had no reason whatsoever to know who she was, which sucks so much, because I would have loved to have had some roleplay experience with my favorite novelized character, who is also being played by Cynthia Marie, who is one of the sweetest, most amazing people that I've been able to meet in this whole like Darkness Emergent adventure that I get to go on all the time. But she plays the head of Mortal Affairs, so she's the kindred who is dealing with anything that happens with the humans in Las Vegas. Then, of course, we had London Carlisle, who played Theo Bell. He played the Theo Bell, who in this storyline is the head of External Affairs. I do gotta say that I was massively surprised by London. When I saw that he was going to be a featured guest at this event, I did a little bit of digging, because I'd never heard of him before. And everything that I saw with him as a storyteller and him as a player on YouTube, he just seems like the nicest guy in the world. And when I met him face to face, it backed that up. He was just such a nice, happy person who was just, he was excited to shake my hand, to get to know me. He had questions for me as much as I had questions for him. And when I saw him playing as, when I thought of him playing as Theo Bell when I met him, I was just like, this guy, I don't know, man. I don't think London can actually pull this stuff off. But Then I saw him in action, and oh my god, this guy has range. At one point in time, somebody like basically stated back at him who he was, and the whole place just reverberated with London's response of, I know who the fuck I am. And we're like, okay, yeah, no, London can pull off Theo Bell. And he looked the part, and he acted the part. Like, he has a very bigger than life personality, so that was very fun. Also, we got to have Miss Magitech there, Tracy. She's just a lot of fun. I've had some very fun back and forth banter with her over Discord, just private conversations while getting ready for events and stuff like that, and being able to spend some time in the same place, both in and out of character with Tracy, is just a pleasure as always. She also brought a couple of friends from the Ancestral Blood game that she runs, so it was very nice to be able to like meet them in person and basically just be acquainted with the larger World of Darkness community when it comes to that. And then, of course, we had Outstar. Outstar was there. She had NPC. She had an NPC that she was playing also, and it was just that was fun. That was fun. I've always admired the work that she's put into World of Darkness, both before and after she became like directly affiliated, and she was just fun. Her character is really fun. The small amount of time that I got to see her out of character, she was just very sweet, very polite, and just a great person to get to meet. So there was that. That was the meeting of the court, which was a lot of fun. One of the other players who was playing as Zamitzi went out of the way and like reached out to create a Zamitzi meeting space at one point. So there was a good portion of the night where it was just I was spending time with the Zamitzi inside this booth, just all of us talking about basically where we saw the clan going, our experiences with our clan's past, and what we were looking forward to in the future. I had such a great time with that. It was so much fun being in a small area with a handful of Zamitzi, because I've gotten to meet one or two over time, but this was the largest gathering of Zamitzi that I've been in, and it felt welcoming. Like not two-step. I was gonna say not to step, but like two-step in the realm of like the difference between Vampire the Masquerade the game and Vampire the Masquerade a lifestyle. It was really nice to be sitting down with a handful of your own clan and discussing the clan dramas. I was also joined with a couple people that I had met and that I'd known for a couple of sessions at this point, since like San Antonio and Chicago, and being able to catch up with them was a lot of fun. That led into a event that went from 11:30 p.m. until like 2 o'clock in the morning, where it was a party at Club Seraphim. It was the same location, but it was basically after the court left, where we basically just hung out with some soft RP. We spoke in character, we spoke out of character, and it was a very fluid experience. There weren't very many tests thrown or anything like that. It was just us being able to hang out in a beautiful location. Then on Friday was a lot of fun, because that's when panels started up and all that junk, and we got to do like who was who was going to be doing what. I guess it's so hard to even recall, because like there was so much that happened. But we did the opening panels and stuff, which I had put up already. You guys have seen pretty much everything that happened on there, where we just discussed how the event was going to go. There was a LA by Night panel, which was really neat, because it was Outstar directing the questions from the community towards Alexander and Cynthia. And it was just it was very fun. It was very insightful because we got to basically just hear their opinions on things, and there was a lot of stuff that I did not quite realize. My friend Molly, who played Zamitzi named Mercy, was very awesome and was able to capture that. And I will put a link to her YouTube channel in the description so that you guys can see the LA by Night panel, because I got crap equipment, okay? My phone can only handle so much, and I have to pick and choose what I can record. Plus, I was late for this panel, so I'm really glad that Molly was there for that. So thank you, Molly, for being able to get a hold of that, and we'll put that in the description. So then there was also this thing that I did not participate in. I'm sorry for jumping around like this. I really just have no other way, because I waited so long to do this, because it's holiday season and it's also my kid's birthday season, so everything's just like piling up on top of each other. And this was like a really, really insane trip as it was. There was a Sip and Soar event, which was basically this massive freaking Ferris wheel that had a bar in it, where you were, you were basically over the city. There were charity auctions, which had some very beautiful Vampire the Masquerade related paraphernalia. There were some cutlery sets, like kitchen knives and things like that, which were clan based. There was I think a Toreador and a La Sombra set. Very beautiful stuff. We also had our merchants. Not much. There was a By Night Studios table, and then of course Modern Artifices, who they make dice, and they also had like a laser engraver and everything, which was really cool. Actually, I want to show you guys something. If it's here, where did I put it? Oh my god, is that it? No. Everything's everywhere. I'm still trying to like get my life back together as far as things go. Here they are. Okay, cool. So I have the RPS cards, the rock, paper, scissors cards, so that you don't have to like throw rock, paper, scissors. There's no thought. You literally shuffle and then you pull these out. I got scissors, I got paper, and I got rock. So I have the Camarilla designated ones, I have the Anarch designated ones, and I also have the Sabbat designated ones. But I have a set of the classic, the ones that just said Vampire the Masquerade, that are like this. Aren't those pretty? But I had him use, I had Giuseppe at Modern Artifices use the laser engraver to put the Zamitzi clan symbol on there. Isn't that not the coolest thing in the world? So now I have like my own custom cards, which I love and cherish. And a few other people were getting their clans and other things engraved on their cards too when they saw that I did that, because I was like running around showing everybody like a little kid at Christmas. I'm trying to think of everything that happened aside from the actual LARP event. But I mean, oh God, is this book going to be helpful for me? There's so much stuff in this book. The staff, the storytellers. So we had Jimmy Reckett, BJ Altman, Chris Hill, and Aaron Bryant back as storytellers. We also had like some like latecomers, simply because like some help was needed and some NPCs were being played. Then there's also like just the rest of the staff. There's so many people here, I don't even know. There's no time for me to actually mention everybody here, but I tried to do my best to show as many people as I could inside the the panels that I was able to get videos for. I'm trying to think. Oh my god, there's just so much that happened. We had the Fangsmith Maven. We had the Fangsmith Maven Loreback doing fangs for everybody. Which was really cool. A lot of people got some really nice fangs done. I know I got a set of those fangs during San Antonio, and it was probably like I don't know. I love these fags. They look so real. They're made out of dental acrylic and stuff like that. I'll go ahead and I'll put a link to his stuff in there because he does events and he also has a brick and mortar shop. Um, oh my gosh, what else? Oh, they did the Vampire in Vino event again, where you were able to discuss things with special guests and also developers about upcoming projects and stuff like that, while actually being able to enjoy a nice, sip of wine, a nice wine tasting. It was nice. They had the Grams or Bust horror themed LARP, which I apparently missed. This was for the Methuselah ticket event only. I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of what this says here. Step into the golden age of Vegas with Pluto's Gold, a once vibrant casino where celebrities like the Rat Pack, Audrey Hepburn, and Elvis Presley mingled. Parties lit up the rooftop bar as atomic bombs painted the horizon. However, those days are long gone. Despite numerous attempts at revitalization, the casino now stands derelict, shrouded in a sinister corruption that taints its very soul. I really wish I could have been there for that. That sounded amazing. Then there was the Dinner with Darkness thing. For those of you who get higher level tickets, you actually do get to join the storyteller staff and the staff of BNS and everybody, the featured guests, and get to have dinner. You get to actually sit down and have a nice dinner with these people, and it's always it's got to be an amazing event. That's something that I didn't get to actually take place in simply because I'm so freaking busy. I got to run a tabletop game across from Miss Magitech. We actually got to sit down and run games. I'm not really sure what her game was about because I was focused on mine, and mine was it was a session called First Kiss, which took place in Las Vegas, and what it was a bunch of neonates who had never been out on their first hunt before. So I had them build base book characters out of the core book of Vampire the Masquerade Tabletop, and we went through their very first session, their very first time going out and hunting without their sire's help, and humanity was lost. We'll just put it that way. It was pretty hectic. So on page 22 of this thing that I'm still using as an outline, there is a schedule here, so I can tell you what happened versus what I got to do. So starting on Thursday from 1 to 9 p.m. in the Champagne Room 2 at the beautiful Paris Hotel was registration in vendors. So again, that was where we basically got together, made sure we all got our tickets and stuff, which I got mine right here. I love it. I took mine off the lanyard and I put the Darkness Emergent pin that they gave us. It says Fortunes Won and Lost. And I actually started wearing it because I hate lanyards. I'm not a lanyard person. I don't like things just hanging around my neck unless it's like my Anarch necklace. Then from 5 to 8 p.m., we had the Methuselah's Dinner with Darkness, which, from what I hear, everybody had an amazing time and the food was spectacular. At 8 to 11 at the Legends Lounge was the Meet the Anarch Court, which is elder or higher ticket only. So that's a special event where you get to go in and meet. It's a meet and greet for the featured guests where you get to go in and you got to meet Alex and Cynthia and Outstar and Tracy and London, and it was a lot of fun. You basically just got to see how the city works, the city's inner politics. Then from 11:30 to 2 in the same location was the Seraphin Soft RP event, which was probably one of my all-time favorite events just because we just got to sit around and be in character and I got to catch up with old friends. On Friday, in, again, Champagne Room 2, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, the vendors were there for, and also latecomer registration. At 10 a.m. In the Champagne Room 1, The opening session was took place. So that's the video that I put up, the opening panels. At 11:30 was a special guest meet and greet. It was only about 30 to 45 minutes, and it was basically us being able to go around with these books with the great photos that they have in here, the way cameras work, and basically we were able to get like autographs and meet them and talk to people who were involved and stuff. It was very nice being able to basically get some one-on-one time with the featured guests. After that, at from noon to 2, was the Vampire and Vino in the Legends Lounge, and that was the same place where we did the meet and greet and the Seraphin get together. I'm just going through the schedule. 1 to 5 p.m. On Friday was also the hosted tabletop games, which was me and Tracy. But also I found out, and this was really cool, that Alex, Cynthia Marie, and I think also Outstar, I'm not 100% sure because we were kind of broken up all over the place with all the people involved, but they all hosted tabletop games of their own, which the little I heard about it, because there was just so much, let's just jump right back into the LARP. From what I heard, they were just amazing, and everybody had such a great time. Then at 1 to 2 p.m. was the LARP 101 panels, where BJ Altman, Chris Hill, and Aaron Bryant basically walked through how to actually get involved in the LARP. The 2 to 3 on the same day was the character workshop, where people people who were working there were helping to basically just help build people's LARP characters who were not familiar with the system. Then, oh my god, I really want to do this. In the Legends Lounge, 3 to 4 was Dark Epics. Dark Epics is such an interesting idea. Dark Epics is you're sitting down in character, but you're playing these world changers. You're not playing the neonates that we typically play, and you're also not just playing vampire. There's vampires, werewolves, mages, fae, femora. If you can think of a character that has a world-altering ability, basically, and I'm not talking powers, I just mean like political acumen and political sway, this is where you are gonna shine. You get to play, and it's mostly like a Nordic LARP style thing. There's no tests. It's more just like interaction and yes and acting. I've heard a lot about it. I really want to do it, but I'm always busy when it's time to do this. So unfortunately, I couldn't. 4 to 4:30 was the sip and tour, the sip and soar thing on the Ferris wheel, and then 7 to midnight was the Darkness Emergent Night 1, which apparently there was another sip and soar sky bar thing at 12:30 to 2 a.m. after the Darkness Emergent night. Now we got to LARP. We got to do most of our LARP in the village buffet, which is such a cool little spot. It is exactly what it sounds like. There's tables, there's buffet, but like everything around you is built up to look like a tiny French village, and it felt like we were playing outside. It really did. It really felt like we were playing outside, especially because the sky is painted to look like the day sky, which was freaky as hell, and definitely like messed with my sense of perception of what day it was or what time it was. So there was a lot going on this night. There were small salons off to the side where people could get into political play. There was a plot line involving the Hikata and curses and like people overstepping boundaries. I, on the other hand, decided to basically just get into personal play. I found a small group of people and we worked together. We had goals for our factions, just like we do all the time, which, by the way, I want to put out that the Iron Horsemen, which is my faction, we fucking smashed it. We destroyed it, and I cannot wait to see what happens in the Los Angeles game in May to see what the repercussions are for the stuff that we did, because apparently we pissed some people off. But for the most part, I decided to play just with people. I didn't really want to get that far involved in the political stuff. I do have a habit of overacting and like trying to steal the show, and I just didn't want to do that this time. I just wanted to be able to play my character, who is now 2 years embraced and off the leash effectively and trying new things. That being said, the things that I decided to do were because I was approached by other players who asked me if I wanted to put on a exhibition performance. And Frenzy. and Frenzy. So the first night we did kind of like a dress rehearsal, but I wasn't told when it was going to happen, and I was kind of like led to believe that it might not happen that night. So I was like, yay, I'm going to Frenzy as an art performance. They're going to put me through a fear frenzy, which I have things on my sheet that make it so it's really hard to make me Frenzy, but then when I do, you regret it. You shouldn't let me Frenzy. But I didn't think it was... I thought we weren't going to do it that night, so I was like, well, let's go find some other firsts. And I found a group that were selling drug blood. I was gonna try to like say something else, but like it is. I mean, it's exactly what it was. It was substances mixed with the blood, and my character is just like, well, I'm not gonna OD, so screw it, let's do it. And I got a hold of some stuff. So basically, I found out what my character was on. I spent like 5 minutes looking up the side effects and the basically like what happens when you're on said substance. And I was like, okay, so I think the best way of doing this is to try to act like a person who's on it, who's pretending to not be on it. So I got permission from everybody that I interacted with ahead of time, but like whenever I was speaking to somebody, I'd get like really like obsessed with like the textures of their fabrics, and I was like touching jackets and stuff like that, and just making everybody was having a great time with the fact that Mekhet was under the influence. But then we got to do it anyway, and I got really excited because the concept was we're going to make you frenzy by drinking werewolf blood. So we did our dry run, our dress rehearsal, with me drinking with under the influence Mekhet drinking werewolf blood, and what ended up happening was myself and the other person who I was involved with, who was playing a Toreador named Mortimer from the Wilting Lilies. He was going to give me the drink, and then we sat down and spoke about it. We actually kind of did this again. This was more of a Nordic LARP situation where no tests were thrown. We just wanted to put on a good show. We just wanted to tell a good story. But I also did not tell him everything that was going to happen. I had tracked down the storyteller, BJ, and I discussed what the effects were compared to older editions versus like now, and he agreed that my character probably would go into horrid form, which I now have access to. So my friend Molly, who's playing as a meatsy named Mercy, has said that she would keep me under control if need be. But I had the skitter legs part of horrid form. So basically, what happens is your legs, at least the way that I described it, was my legs split so that each one became two. I had 4 legs, and it increases your movement speed. So that happened, and I also had the maw the predator mouth thing. But what I ended up doing was like shaking free of the bonds, grabbing Mortimer and ripping his arm off. Then my friend DJ, who is also one of our Patreon players for our World of Darkness, his character has animalism and used Quell the Beast, Calm Me Down. Oh my god, I can't forget this. After Molly jumps on me and stakes me with like a hair thing. So after that, I come down from my character's high, and I sat down with Mortimer's player for a little while, and we worked out my capabilities with flesh crafting, with vicissitude, to build him a new arm until his other arm was able to, basically until he was able to heal it. Anyway, it was a fun night. It was bizarre. It was stupid. I had a lot of fun. The next night, I was looking for the people again, and I was like, oh, if mixing werewolf blood with those drugs happens, what happens if you mix it with something stronger? And I had heard lots of stories about Fey blood, and I was able to get my hands on some Fey blood. So I drank that, at which point, Yermir Kearney, Alexander Ward's character, got in my face and started screaming at me about drinking werewolf blood, because apparently he was involved in some kind of, like, peace treaties with the werewolves, and I had offended and broken it. But I was also completely messed up on Fey blood, that I did not know whether or not he was mad or happy, because all I saw was a lot of teeth. Anyway, so I thought we weren't going to be able to do the actual performance, but instead they chained me to a chair, whipped me in the face a couple of times, and really, really worked on making me frenzy. It happened, but I didn't tell Mortimer that I had changed up my horrid form this time. This time I had spikes, and he put his hands on me, and the spikes came out, and it was the exact same one, which the arm that I ripped off, and he's like, not again! Or something like that. I don't know. We were very awesome that I was able to get it on film. So that's in... I don't know if that should be separate or put on here. I'll decide that in the editing process. Wow, just so much. I think this might just be a ramble. So moving on to Saturday, Champagne Room 1, 10 a.m. to 11. There was the LA by Night panel with Alex Ward and Cynthia Marie, which was kind of like emceed by Outstar. From what I saw of it, most of it, it was amazing. We had a good time. And I got the last question, which made me really, really happy. And the question I put out there, which I did not get an answer for, but I did not expect one, I just got a really fun response to, not only from Alex and Cynthia, but also the rest of everybody who was in participation, was, is X, Xander's character in LA by Night, the third Vorman? And that a lot of people were just like, oh my god, but it just felt so insinuated. You never really see X with the twins when anybody else is around, and like X disappears at the end, but then there's no Baron of Santa Monica after that point. It's just, there's a lot. It was just something that popped into my head, and I was not upset by the response that I got for the question. At 11:30, we had a special guest meet and greet again. This is where you get your, autographs and stuff. They have to split that up to make sure that there's enough time to do everything. Then there was at 11 to noon in the Champagne Room, we had the Art of Storytelling, which was hosted by our storytelling team, Jimmy Reckett, BJ Altman, Chris Hill, but also Miss Magitech. She got on there and got to talk about it. That was, from the response I heard from the other room, I think at this point in time, I was helping Daphne from By Night Studios run the table. By helping, I mean I literally just sat down at the table and just started hanging out with Daphne. That's pretty much it. At 1 to 5, in the Legends Lounge, there was the 21 grams LARP, which was a Methuselah Plus extra event thing. I didn't get to go to that. I was busy doing other things. Then there was a featured V5 tabletop. This is the one from 12:30 to 5:30. This is the one where Cynthia Marie and Alex were running tabletop games, and everybody apparently had an amazing time from what I heard. At 1 to 2 on Saturday, there was Chops 101, which was basically, it was hosted by Corrigan Cassidy, who's one of the developers of the Lost of the Night book, as well as Cheshire, who's the guy who kind of helps everybody out with their character stuff, which was pretty much like how we actually play this game. Like how does rock paper scissors work? How, like, you wouldn't think that it needs any explanation, but that's coming from somebody who's been playing this game since 2003, and I remember back in the day I needed a lot of explanation to know what was happening, and now the rules have changed, so I think that it was a worthwhile event to take place in. 2 to 5 was a photo scavenger hunt that was hosted by Kelly Barnes and Daphne Reeder. This was literally a walk up and down the strip and find things scavenger hunt. There were prizes involved in this stuff. I was hungry and did not participate in this, but it looked like a lot of fun. At 7 to midnight, again at the Village Buffet, was the second night of the LARP. This is the one where not only was I messed up on Fablehead, but we also did the frenzy thing again, this time in front of Yaramir Kirti and some of the other court, who not only watched it and seemed mildly amused, but then got up as all of our frenzied people were staked, who got up and basically yelled at the people who put the thing on for wasting, like, possible good fighters if something had happened. So, like, I guess he didn't like it? I don't know. I really don't care. I had a good time. After that was at 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. at the Village Buffet was an after-hours reception where we basically just kind of hung out, out of character, talked about the night, enjoyed everything, and just kind of just let it all wash over us, everything that we had done. On Sunday, at 11 a.m. was the LARP after the auction awards, and the last ability to get to, like, any kind of merchandise. They announced the auction winners at noon. It was just, I don't know, that was Sunday was such an interesting day because it was just like let's just bring everything down. I was very, very fortunate, however, and got to go to Area 15 with Daphne Reeder and also Giuseppe from Modern Artifices, and we checked out the Omega Mart. I have a lot of stuff on that. I might make that available to the public. It's a lot of mind-bending stuff. It's like if Pentex opened a Walmart. That's basically the only thing I could say. If people are interested in seeing that, let me know, and I'll add a video of all the junk that happened at Omega Mart. We had a lot of fun. If you're in Vegas and you have the ability to go check out Area 15 and all the little events that they have in there, I highly suggest it. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I cannot wait to go back to Darkness Emergent to spend time with the people who play Vampire with me for these events, and to do whatever it is they want me to do. I love running tabletop for these people. I love helping out, like, wherever I can. Like, I don't know. I feel so fortunate being able to be involved in this stuff. But that's pretty much everything that I can remember. I'm so sorry. There are so many little tiny things that I really can't. I don't know, people. I don't know. I'm including the walkthrough on this video so that you're not just staring at me in my room while I'm talking about this. And anyway, I hope everything seems fun to the point where people who are, like, on the fence of joining these events actually does decide to join the event, because By Night Studios is putting on one hell of a show. Jimmy Rickett and his team are just such amazing storytellers. And as somebody who storytells a lot, I have gone back and forth on, like, do I want to have a chance to play a character that I'm enjoying? Or do I want to be part of this amazing team? Do I want to offer? Because part of me is just like, storytelling's where it's at. It's like my favorite aspect of this game, but I never really get to play very often. And this is me getting a chance to play, but like, oh god, I still want to offer. I think, like, what I've actually done is, like, when I get to that point where they tell me that my character needs to be retired, I might just go, like if I get to the point where, like, I can't spend any more XP without just buying stupid stuff that I'm not going to use, I might just go, hey, is there any way I can get in this, help write some stuff, help storytell or something like that? I don't know. I'm lost when it comes to that kind of stuff because I have so much fun in it already. But, like, also one of my best friends in the world, Aaron, is one of the storytellers. So, like, I'd be able to hang out with Aaron more and we'd be able to collaborate on some stuff. But I don't know. It's all so much. The next one is going to be in Los Angeles in May. And I plan on being there. I've never been to Los Angeles before. I've never been to Vegas before. I've never been to Chicago before. I've never been to San Antonio before. This is a chance for me to see the country as it is. Anyway, that's all I really have about this. If you guys have any questions, I might be able to answer those better than just sitting here, like, flying off, with just random thoughts in my head. I tried to use the book they gave us as a way to hone those thoughts, but I feel like it just came out as a bunch of mush and gibberish. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I hope you guys enjoyed the walkthrough also of the hotel, because that was amazing. Like, the hotel, the venue was just gorgeous. The Paris Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't think that I personally would ever want to go back to Las Vegas unless there was some kind of World of Darkness event that I'm being, like, wanting to attend. It's sensory overload. Like, you can't even walk into a place without, like, the bright lights and the blinging of, like, slot machines and, like, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's massively sensory overload. From what I understand, the Los Angeles thing is going to be a little bit better for me when it comes to that. So fingers crossed on that one. I will be there. Let's hope I don't get all, like, meh with it. Anyway, I am voivodemekhet. Thank you for joining me in this, like, weird verbal display of what happened in Las Vegas on November 7th through 10th for Darkness Emergence Fortunes Won and Lost, presented by My Night Studios. I had a great time. I hope those of you who are watching this who attended also had a great time, and I hope those of you who decide to watch this can understand how much of a good time that I had, so that you are, like, elevated to the point where you want to join as well, because I love playing with members of our community and stuff. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Good evening.